Hello everybody, this is my unboxing video of the high-grade Gundam Age 1:144 scale Baqto. And this is one of the model kits from the Gundam Age line that I have been anticipating for quite some time, just based on the actual look of the mobile suit design. Now, I have not watched our Robert 184's review yet, so I purposely did that because I did not want to be... I wanted to be surprised when I first opened this. And in fact, I have not opened up the contents of this box yet, so we'll do that live here on this video here. So it'll be first impressions here. Really great cover art, as you can see here, with the Baqto looking really awesome. You've got some explosions going on in the background there. You've got some kind of energy weapon coming out of the hands here, as well as the tail gun, which apparently shoots between the legs. You got some more pieces of mobile suit here. Really striking cover art. And on the side of the box you have a look at the actual model kit. And here it appears to be in some kind of flying pose, which I think looks pretty good. It does say flight mode. Apparently it has some kind of feature, looks to be in the knee area. I guess that would be some mechanical detail, but until I look at the manual and build the model, I won't know for sure. And some more details there. And the armament, which again they show posed going between the legs. So that's interesting. On the side you have a nice close-up of the actual Baqto, which is nice. And on the other side you do have just some, what apparently is a bio or some kind of information about the mobile suit or the anime. I have not watched the anime yet. Alright, so like I said before, this is actually the very first time I have, well, that I'm going to actually look at the contents of the box. I started to open it up, but then I said, well, let me open it up just in this video for the first time. That way you'll get my initial reaction to it. So here, for the very first time, is like it's 1985, opening up the high-grade 1:144 scale Baqto. Here we go. And take a look. So, this is the A plate here. It looks like you got some black parts, sort of aqua color parts, and I guess light aqua color parts here. So you got nice color variation there. You do have this translucent yellow, which is going to, just by the design of it, it's going to form the chest area right there. So that is pretty cool. And here, actually, it's going to go behind this, looks like, and it will create a nice effect because it's not going to be a sticker. I was wondering about that. I thought it would be a sticker, but they chose to do it the cool way, and they actually have a separate color here, if you will, of the translucent yellow that's going to go behind the chest area. So that is really cool. And we've got the B plate here. I will be opening up the plates and looking at them individually in a few minutes here, but I wanted to kind of just get my initial impressions. Looks like you got a sticker there. I'll show more of that in detail later. And yeah, it looks great. You got parts, I guess, for the tail weapon. Looks like. And second bag of parts here. Interesting color here. Again, I would say it was kind of an aqua color. I actually was not expecting that, so that's kind of a surprise to me. I can just tell right there that's the gun, or the main cannon. You got your polycaps here, and it looks like behind here you got the wings. On the D plate, it looks like you have parts for the legs. Again, I'll go into more detail in a few minutes here. And then, of course, you got the manual. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a detailed look at the plates. You can see here we got two sets of hands. The first set is just a single molded piece of plastic. You can see there is the tip of the beam weapon on the palm of the hand. Now if you take a look at the second set, it does have a hole or gap there. What you're going to do during the assembly process is you're actually going to insert the tips here, which are on ball joints, in the hand, much like you did with the Gaffran. Some other bits of information here. This piece here, or these two pieces, will be actually form the front part of the leg. Now I want to bring in the D plate just real quick here. This is going to be the the calf or the bottom part of the leg, and these pieces here are going to go on top of that for a nice piece of accent and a nice color contrast, as you can see there. Now, speaking of color contrast, I was wondering what these parts were here. They actually are accent parts for the shoulder armor. So really nice to see that this is not just going to be a two-color or one-color mobile suit or model kit. For the B plate, all of the parts are cast in black plastic. You have parts for the arms here. These two pieces form the pelvic area where the hips attach. And you do have parts for the feet. Again, more parts for the legs. And these parts here, these four pieces of plastic, are the most interesting parts to me on this plate. You've got a lot of detail there. And when I go through the manual, I'll show you what apparently these parts play a part in for the actual model kit. You do have parts up here that actually go inside of the leg. You don't really see them. And these parts here, I have no idea what they are for. They look very interesting. Just glancing through the manual, I could not figure out what parts they go to, but I'm sure during the assembly process it will be all clear. You have these parts here, again, that's going to attach the cannon weapon to the actual model. And you have parts here that will actually go over the pelvic area and it looks like provides a little bit of armor. Looking at the C plate, well, you can see you have parts for the wings. These two are the main parts of the wings, but you also have these two pieces which will attach to the wing. You do have these pieces which will form and connect to the cannon, which you can see up here. You have these four pieces here. They will be accent pieces for the feet. So again, they will provide color contrast with the rest of the foot. You do have these two pieces here, which are, again, a part of the wing assembly. So you have all the parts here, it seems, for the wings. And over here you have some interesting parts here. They look to be identical. They have ball joints. I'm not sure what they are at this moment, but it will be interesting to find out during the actual build what they are used for. Notice there's three of them, not just a pair. So interesting there. Looking at the D plate in detail, starting off with part number 1 and part number 2, these will snap together and form the adapter. Now this adapter goes between the actual mobile suit and the cannon. You do have 4 parts, which will form the 2 legs, the bottom part of the legs that is. And you have the 4 parts here that form the hip area, which will plug into the pelvic area. So you got these 4 parts here for that. And perhaps the most interesting part or parts in this plate are these 2 pieces here. They will go on the back of the bottom part of the leg. As you can see, they are really big, really stout pieces of plastic, and that really gives the overall mobile suit design a very strong, very well armored look. And finally we move to the last 4 parts on the D plate. These parts will form the 2 shoulders, and as I mentioned before, you do have on the A plate the 4 accent parts. So these parts here will go on top of these and will provide a nice color contrast for the overall mobile suit. Looking at the sticker sheet, you can see you do have a green foil sticker for the eyes, and you do have 5 individual orange stickers that will go and be applied onto this yellow translucent piece of plastic. Okay, so let's have a look at the manual. The front cover of the manual is incredibly awesome. You can see there's a shot again of the Baqto in action, which is really cool. I really wish I had this as a poster-sized picture hanging on my wall. It looks incredibly awesome. Very nice. And if you open the manual, you get a 2-page spread showing all kinds of goodness here. You've got pictures of the model kit, the color guide, some shots from the actual anime, and more pictures of the awesome Baqto model kit. When you finally get to the construction part, you'll see that you do construct the torso first, the head, then you work on the arms and shoulders, and then you move on to the actual assembly of the legs, and finally you assemble the or put together the torso, and you assemble the actual main part of the actual mobile suit. Then you work on the weapon, the mighty cannon that goes over the shoulder, and that is pretty much all you have for the construction. You do have pages here for the transformation into flight mode, which is detailed here. Now, the one thing I did want to point out is you can see here on the lower part of the leg, it looks like the armor separates. and reveals kind of some mechanical detail. And as you recall, on the B plate I pointed out these 4 parts here, which look very interesting to me on their own. But the fact that apparently from the manual it appears you can open up the legs, I guess, for the transformation into flight mode, and it kind of looks like it's almost like the unicorn shifting its armor going into like destroy mode. So I really like that detail. It will be interesting to see how this actually turns out on the actual model kit once I get it fully assembled.